So if you have that judgment based on a stereotype right at the beginning, it's very, very hard to get over that. Whether you walk around saying you believe it or not, it's still leaving an imprint in your mind.
For decades, whispers of a royal scandal have echoed through the halls of Buckingham Palace. Could it be true? Could Prince Harry's entire identity be based on a lie? The question that has haunted him since childhood has finally been answered through a single DNA test that sent shockwaves through the monarchy. The test's results were so explosive that the royal family was thrown into complete disarray. King Charles III's reaction? Silence. Prince William's? Utter disbelief. Was the world about to witness the most earth-shattering revelation in royal history? If the rumors were true, what would it mean for Harry, Diana's legacy, and the future of the monarchy itself? What if everything we thought we knew about Prince Harry was a lie? To uncover the truth, we must go back to where it all began. Prince Harry has spent his entire life in the shadow of one relentless rumor, that he might not be the biological son of King Charles III. The speculation began as early as the 990s, but it wasn't just a passing theory. The whispers grew louder, fueled by a single name: James Hewitt. Hewitt, a former British cavalry officer, became infamous not just for his relationship with Princess Diana, but for the claim that he could be Harry's real father. The story gained momentum because of one undeniable factor: the striking resemblance between Harry and Hewitt. With red hair, similar facial features, and a shared mannerism, many wondered if the truth had been hiding in plain sight. But was there any real evidence behind this theory? According to public records, Diana and Hewitt met in 1986 years after Harry's birth, in 1984. If this timeline is accurate, then it would be impossible for Hewitt to be Harry's father. But despite this, the rumors refused to die. One of the biggest reasons these rumors persisted was visual perception. Human psychology is wired to recognize patterns, and to many the similarities between Harry and Hewitt seemed too strong to ignore. In contrast, Harry's features, especially his hair color, were vastly different from King Charles and Prince William. Then came the tabloids, the relentless force that shaped public perception. The British press thrived on controversy, and the idea of a hidden royal scandal was too tempting to resist. Headlines speculated, opinion pieces dissected, and paparazzi pictures compared every detail. Year after year, magazines and newspapers pushed the narrative further, leaving a permanent imprint on the public's mind. But what about Princess Diana? How did she respond to these allegations? Publicly, Diana never gave these rumors any weight. Those close to her have said she found them hurtful and offensive, not just because they questioned her faithfulness, but because they disrespected Harry. However, some claim Diana was aware of the whispers and deeply resented them. She had always fought for her dignity and reputation, but the constant attacks on her character and personal life were something she could never truly escape. Yet, through it all, the royal family never intervened to defend her or Harry. There was no official denial, no public statement to shut down the growing controversy. Instead, they remained eerily silent. While the world speculated, the royal family remained eerily silent. But why? For years, the speculation surrounding Prince Harry's paternity grew louder, but the one voice that remained missing from the conversation was the royal family's. Their silence wasn't just noticeable, it was deafening. As the rumors spread like wildfire, the palace refused to issue a statement, neither confirming nor denying the claims. It was as if they had decided that ignoring the controversy would make it disappear. But was this simply a strategy to avoid fueling the media, or was there something more to it? King Charles III, the man at the center of the allegations, never directly addressed the issue. If the claims were false, why didn't he publicly shut them down? The lack of a firm response only emboldened the tabloids, allowing them to push the narrative further. It wasn't just about Charles, it was about the monarchy itself. For an institution built on tradition, order, and public perception, admitting that a senior royal had been the subject of a paternity scandal was unthinkable. A single public acknowledgement could have cracked the carefully constructed image of the royal family, something they had spent centuries maintaining. Diana's legacy was another unspoken factor in this silence. She had always been a figure of admiration, but also controversy. To publicly address the rumors would mean dredging up the past, one filled with a troubled marriage, betrayal, and a woman who, despite her royal title, had never been fully embraced by the establishment. By refusing to comment, the palace protected its interests, but at what cost? Harry, the boy who had lost his mother in a tragic accident, was left to fend for himself. His pain, his reputation, and even his identity were secondary to the monarchy's need for control. The message was clear: the institution came before the individual. For Harry, this was not just about false headlines, it was about trust. If his own family refused to stand up for him, what did that say about his place in the monarchy? While the world debated his paternity, he was forced to live with the weight of those whispers, with no one to defend him. It was a painful reminder of what Diana had endured, her struggles with the press, her battles with the institution, and the loneliness that came with being on the outside of a system that valued power over people. But for Harry, these rumors weren't just about gossip, they shaped his entire life. From the outside, Prince Harry lived a life of privilege, castles, wealth, and a future already mapped out for him. But behind the royal facade, a different reality took shape. From a young age, he was haunted by whispers questioning his identity. The rumors weren't just idle gossip, they followed him through childhood, adolescence, and into adulthood. Everywhere he turned, there were comparisons to James Hewitt. The red hair, they have similar facial features. The media dissected every angle, every photograph, every movement. For any child, feeling different is unsettling, but for Harry, the weight of speculation ran deeper. It wasn't just about looks, it was about belonging. Did he truly have a place within the royal family? Did his father see him as his son, or was there always an unspoken doubt? These questions, though never openly discussed, shaped the way he saw himself. When your very existence is questioned by the world, how do you ever feel secure? The monarchy demands loyalty, tradition, and restraint, but as Harry grew older, he struggled to suppress the emotions building inside him, the quiet doubt, the unspoken pain. At times, even he couldn't help but wonder, was there any truth to the rumors? If his father refused to speak out, what did that mean? The silence from Buckingham Palace was louder than words. No denial, no support, just a quiet acceptance that the speculation would always exist. But there was one person who had never let him question his worth: Diana. She had always been his protector, his guide. She made sure that no matter what the world said, Harry and William knew they were loved. But when Diana was gone, so was that shield of unconditional love. Without her, the doubts crept in more than ever. She had always been his greatest source of reassurance, but with her absence, he was left to face the rumors alone. Losing his mother at such a young age had already left scars that never fully healed. But the persistent claims about his paternity added another layer of pain. He couldn't shake the feeling that the same forces that had tormented Diana were now coming for him. And if the palace had allowed her to suffer, why would they ever step in to protect him? For years, Harry tried to ignore the rumors until one decision changed everything. For years, Prince Harry had done his best to silence the doubts. He had ignored the headlines, dismissed the whispers, and told himself the rumors didn't matter. But deep down, they never truly went away. No matter how much he tried to convince himself otherwise, there was always a part of him that wondered, what if? It wasn't just about resemblance anymore. It was about his place in the world, his identity, his past, and his future. His past and his future, and finally, after years of speculation, he made the boldest decision of his life. He was going to take a DNA test. But what pushed him to this moment? Was it the public pressure that had followed him since childhood? Was it the never-ending comparisons that refused to die? Or was it something more personal? Some say it was Meghan Markle, the woman who had encouraged him to take control of his narrative. From the moment they left the royal family, Meghan had been Harry's anchor, reminding him that he had the power to define his own story. She had seen firsthand the toll the rumors had taken on him, the unspoken frustration, the emotional weight he carried. And so she pushed him toward a choice that could finally bring clarity. But not everyone supported this decision. When word reached King Charles and Prince William, the reaction was immediate and fierce. To them, the test was a dangerous risk, one that could reignite a scandal the royal family had worked so hard to suppress. Charles, especially, was said to be deeply hurt by the implication that his son doubted their bond. William, on the other hand, feared what it would mean for the family's image. A DNA test wouldn't just be about Harry, it would put the entire monarchy under intense scrutiny. Despite their opposition, Harry was determined. He couldn't live under the weight of uncertainty any longer. The test wasn't about breaking ties with his family, it was about knowing the truth once and for all. But he knew that if he was going to do this, it had to be done in complete secrecy. He arranged the test through a private clinic in California, known for handling high-profile clients with strict confidentiality. Every detail was carefully planned, no leaks, no traces, no outside interference. Even in a world where the press followed his every move, Harry ensured that this moment belonged only to him. The days leading up to the results were some of the longest of his life. He couldn't sleep, couldn't focus. His mind raced with possibilities. What if the test confirmed the rumors? What would that mean for his entire existence? Would it mean he was never truly a part of the royal family? And if the results said otherwise, would the world ever believe the truth? Then, the moment of truth arrived. The results were in. The envelope sat in front of him, a single piece of paper that could rewrite history. His hands trembled as he reached for it, his breath shallow. The weight of decades of speculation, whispers and doubts all came down to this moment. Prince Harry was about to learn the truth. As he unfolded the results, his heart pounded. And then, there it was, the final revelation. Prince Harry is the biological son of King Charles III. For a moment, everything stood still. The rumors, the accusations, the relentless media scrutiny, all of it had been for nothing. He had spent his entire life questioning whether he truly belonged, only to find out that he had never been an outsider at all. But instead of feeling pure relief, a wave of anger and confusion washed over him. Why had the royal family never defended him? Why had they allowed the world to doubt him for so long when the truth had been right in front of them? The monarchy had countless opportunities to put an end to the rumors. A single public statement, an official DNA test years, could have saved him from a lifetime of speculation and self-doubt. But, instead, they had chosen silence. Harry wasn't the only one who felt the impact of the results. When King Charles and Prince William learned that the test had been taken, the royal family was thrown into crisis. Charles, despite the confirmation of his paternity, was said to be deeply wounded by Harry's actions. To him, it wasn't just a test, it was a betrayal, a signal that his son had doubted him, had questioned the very bond they shared. William, ever the guardian of the monarchy's reputation, was furious. He had feared that the test alone would reignite old scandals, dragging the family through yet another media firestorm. And he was right. Within hours, the news had leaked. The press went into a frenzy. Headlines exploded across the globe. Prince Harry's DNA test shocks the royal family. Is the paternity scandal finally over? Harry confirms his lineage, but why did he ever doubt it? Social media erupted with debates, theories, and endless speculation. Some people believed the test results, others refused to accept them. Even with scientific proof, conspiracy theories only grew stronger. But for Harry, this was about more than just his DNA. It was about defending Diana's honor. The DNA results were meant to bring clarity, to put the rumors to rest. But instead, they opened an entirely different wound, one that had been festering for decades. For Harry, the test wasn't just about himself, it was about Diana. About the pain she endured, the relentless attacks on her character, and the cruel whispers that followed her even in death. The confirmation of his paternity was more than a personal relief, it was a vindication for his mother. For years, the tabloids had painted Diana as reckless, unfaithful, and unworthy of the crown. The monarchy had done nothing to defend her against those allegations. Even in her absence, they had let the rumors persist, staining her legacy and leaving her youngest son to bear the weight of doubt. The DNA test should have never been necessary. His mother's honor should have been protected from the start. But the royal family had remained silent. And that, more than anything, was what enraged Harry the most. The moment the results confirmed the truth, he realized something undeniable. The monarchy was not built to protect its own. The institution that was supposed to stand for tradition, honor, and family had failed him and his mother completely. They had chosen reputation over truth, image over integrity, silence over loyalty. And now, as he looked back at the years of speculation, he understood something Diana had realized long before him. The monarchy was a machine, and if you weren't useful to it, you were discarded. Diana had fought against this system for most of her life. She had refused to be controlled, refused to play by the rules that suffocated her, and she had paid the price for it. Now, Harry saw himself walking down the same path. The same cold indifference, the same media torment, the same feeling of being completely alone. But there was one difference. Harry had a choice. For years, he had clung to his royal identity, hoping to find his place within the system. But the DNA test, and everything leading up to it, had proven something he could no longer ignore. The monarchy would never change. The past had repeated itself, just in a different form, and now he had to decide whether to continue fighting a battle that was never meant to be won, or to finally step away from it all. And so he made his choice. He would no longer be a pawn in a game he never agreed to play. He would no longer seek validation from a family that had let him suffer in silence. He would no longer hold on to an institution that had failed the two people he loved most, his mother and now himself. This was his final stand. With the truth revealed, Harry had to make the ultimate decision: stay or walk away forever. The DNA test had given Harry the truth, but it had also given him clarity. The monarchy was never going to change. The institution had failed his mother, it had failed him, and now it was trying to control the next chapter of his life. He wasn't going to let that happen. The results didn't just confirm his identity, they solidified his decision to walk away for good. Leaving the UK wasn't just about stepping away from the royal family, it was about breaking free from a system that had dictated his life since birth. For the first time, he had the chance to define his future, away from the constant scrutiny, the suffocating protocols, and the expectations that had never aligned with who he truly was. He wanted something different, not just for himself, but for his own family. In California, Harry found something he had never experienced in the palace. Freedom. No more royal obligations, no more staged appearances, no more answering to an institution that had never put his well-being first. He and Meghan had built a life on their terms, one that prioritized love, authenticity, and mental peace. For the first time, he was raising his children without the weight of royal tradition hanging over them. For Archie and Lilibet, there would be no oppressive duty to a crown they never chose. No media circus waiting to pick apart their every move. No centuries-old expectations dictating who they could or couldn't be. Harry was determined to break the cycle that had haunted his family for generations. His children would grow up in a world where they were valued for who they were, not for the title they carried. But even as he embraced this new life, Harry wasn't done speaking out. He had seen the damage the monarchy could do, not just to him, but to anyone who didn't fit its mold. He refused to stay silent. He called out the system, its failures, and the way it had treated his mother, his wife, and now his children, whether it was mental health, media intrusion, or the rigid traditions that hurt more than they helped. Harry was no longer afraid to challenge the institution he had once been expected to serve. Still, the question remained, was reconciliation even possible? Could he ever mend the fractured relationships with his father, his brother, and the family he had left behind? The truth was, he didn't know. Maybe one day the wounds would heal. Maybe one day they would understand why he made the choices he did. But for now, he wasn't looking back. For the first time, Prince Harry wasn't just a royal, he was his own man. But even as Harry moves forward, the scars of his past remain. Prince Harry's journey was never just about a DNA test. It was about truth, identity, and breaking free from the shadows of doubt. For years he had lived under speculation, forced to question his place within a family that had never fully protected him. But when the moment came, he took control of his own story, something his mother, Princess Diana, had fought for her entire life. Diana's influence was unmistakable in every step he took. Just as she had once defied the royal establishment to carve out her path, Harry did the same, not just for himself, but for his children. He refused to let history repeat itself. He chose to leave behind an institution that had let him suffer in silence, choosing love, honesty, and independence instead. But was the test worth it? The results may have ended the rumors, but they also exposed something far deeper: the royal family's willingness to let him endure the scrutiny alone. The silence spoke volumes. Even now, as Harry builds a new life, the monarchy remains unchanged, unwilling to acknowledge the damage left in its wake. Yet, one question lingers. Was the DNA test just the beginning? If this single truth had been hidden for so long, what else was buried beneath the surface of royal history? The monarchy thrives on secrets, and as Harry has proven, some truths refuse to stay hidden forever.